Good afternoon, this is Lucky Lynx. Someone requested that I do a video explaining spirits contracts and how those contracts affect you, coming right up right after this.
That's unexpected. I must say, you fight well.
Now put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Okay, good afternoon, this is Lucky Lynx. All right, so someone said, hey, can you please explain contracts a little more, spirit contracts, things that happen in spirit contracts. And I will do that right now from my experience. I've talked about this several times on my station here. I'm going to talk to you from my practice, my experience in my practice, and give you examples. And I thought maybe perhaps I could illustrate here with the cards and show you. It doesn't matter if you read cards or not. I'm going to show you, because you know what? And I started dealing them out, and it looked like it was going to work. So I'm going to use the cards to illustrate my point here. So I had the Queen. Okay, so we got a woman who what she is. Okay. So you're going to see it develop right before your eyes here. So I got a woman. So let's say we got a woman. I'm going to explain this to you, because people don't talk about this. They don't believe it's happening. Everyone out there is saying, oh, just manifest it. Just manifest it. It's like, where are you manifesting it from? How do you know that you're manifesting it? Well, it shows up. Well, how do you know that you're the reason for it? This is where that thing I'm always talking about, been talking about lately, arrogance comes in the picture. It's like we think we get things done because of us and that no one else is involved. That's not true. I'm sitting here at this table because someone somewhere put in the work to build this table, and they may or may not have gotten paid what they were worth to build this table that I'm not sitting at. Someone made this drink right now, and she put in her energy, and she sold her time. This is the most precious thing she had, so she could make this drink that I'm drinking right now. Now, the contract that she made was to work for this company and sell her time to be able to do this. But, you know, do I think that's a pretty precious thing she put into this drink? See what I'm saying here? I'm not sitting in this moment because just by myself. It's like I didn't do it all by me. We make this you know, we got all this I got all this nature here right now, right? This nature gave its life, its space, so that this could be set up, so I could be sit here talking right now. Now there's nature right here, but there was different nature here before they put the cement in. We take all this stuff for granted here. Let's talk about, you want to talk about contracts, let's talk about contracts, okay? So let's say I got a woman, she's sitting in a bar, or she's in a public place, or she's at work, right? And she sees this guy she likes. Now he's very forceful. He's very dynamic, and she likes that. And she's very security oriented, and she likes that. And she says, gosh, I wish he would notice me. She'd like to have something like this. This is for those of you who read the tarot, this is the Ten of Cups. Happiness, fulfillment, maybe a family. I wish he would notice me. What happens next? I wish he would notice me. For those of you who don't realize it, that's called an invocation. If only he'd notice me. I wish he'd notice me. Oh, I'm so into him. I want him. Those are all invocations. What happens next? So there's this sort of prayer that's made at the moment that's running in the background with her for a family and stability, and to be accepted as authority. And there's an intervention here between heaven and earth. Okay? So she makes a wish, and something sort of intercedes, right? Something takes the contract. For those of you who know the tarot, the Three of Coins can be a contract. Isn't it interesting how the cards are lining up this way? Okay? So this is a commission or a contract. So something takes the contract and says, all right, I'll help it. It heard. Something was listening. At every moment, something is listening. We think the spirit world is not interacting because we can't see it. And people get so arrogant and so full of themselves, thinking, oh, whatever, I can say whatever I want. No, you can't. when you wish for something, when you curse someone, when you bless someone, all this stuff affects your space. Everything comes out of your mouth. Everything you think affects the space and has consequences. So now something hears it. So let's say some spirit just hanging out. You're in a bar, or maybe you're at work, something's hanging out, takes the contract, right? What happens next? The world, okay? So this is feeling like, how out of all those people out there is he going to notice me? So he starts to notice you after a while, but there's all these other things going on, and maybe he starts to notice you, and then you change your mind and you start to push him away. Because he comes over, and what you see here as forceful, you like that energy because he looked very forceful, right? He looked very dynamic, he looked very forceful. Then he comes close, and then he starts to tell you his politics, and his politics different from yours, and you're like, oh no, I don't want this guy, I want nothing to do with him, and you want to push him away. It's like, because you're one kind of politics and he's another kind of politics, and you're like, oh God, he looks so different, I can't believe he is who I think he, oh my God. And then you push him away. Well, guess what? Now you're going to have to face something that's going to challenge you because you pushed that away. And you may say, but you know what? But no, I didn't really make it. No, you said, I wish this guy would notice me. See where I'm going here? I see this all the time with my clients. They'll call me up and they'll say, I don't understand what's going on. And I'll say, look, what I'm seeing, what I'm sensing, and what I'm hearing from the spirit world is that you asked for this. You made an invocation for this. And they're like, well, no, I didn't. I'm like, yeah, you did. Like, and then we'll start to talk and they'll go, oh my God, I did. And then they'll remember. And then I'll say, well, look, you made a wish after this happened for something to come into being. You made a wish relating to a guy. You asked for a certain kind of guy to show up. You asked for a certain type of gal to show up. You asked that her heart be open. You asked that he not be so stubborn. You asked that you have a baby. These are all the sorts of things that people do, whether they realize it or not. Oh, if only I could have a baby with him. Oh, if only I could get that job. Oh, if only she would notice me. Okay? So she made that wish, something listens, he comes over, he starts talking to you, he's interested, but now you decide he's got the wrong politics. You don't want him, you push him away. Guess what? Guess what's coming your way? You still got to pay for that contract. Okay? This is exactly the sort of thing I was talking about in the video yesterday, or in the video a couple of days ago when I was talking about, taking responsibility for what we put out there. I see this constantly. So let's say there's another, let's do another example here. I hope the visuals are helping. Okay, let's say let's see who we got here and what we got here. So in this case, I got the world beyond. All right, so I got the world, but let's see what's coming out of this. I got the world beyond. Okay, so I got a guy who wants the power of the world beyond, okay? So he wants to be a representation. He wants power. He wants spirit power. He wants to be power of the world beyond. He wants to be recognized in the world as someone who represents the world beyond, okay? So he basically wants to be acknowledged for that, okay? And then his morality. All right, so things swing in his favor, okay? So then something hears him and says, okay, I can balance this for you. Oh, I see where this is going, okay? And I see this kind of contract constantly. Okay, so he's like, look, I want to be a big deal. I want to have massive success. And something says, all right, I'll help. That means that you have to have massive responsibility. But he doesn't want to put the work in. The opportunity shows up for him to actually do the work, and he's like, no, I'd rather spend my time with my boyfriend or my girlfriend or whatever, or my friends out drinking, instead of putting in the work that it takes to be that big deal, to be that representation of spirit on earth. I would rather indulge with my friends and tell people I'm a big spiritual, big deal. And then what happens is he finds his home and his health and his happiness starting to turn, And what could have been great fortune in a bigger deal turns to something, there it is, that turns against him because he wasn't putting in the work that he needed to actually invoke it. Now this is really big, okay? So this happens in churches all the time, right? So guy says, I want to be a priest, or I want to be a pastor, right? And I want to be respected, right? And so things are like, okay, well, I'll help you. So something goes, I'll help you. Something's listening. There's a spirit listening, believe it or not. You're being heard. And it says, okay, I'll intercede. And you're supposed to help all these people. You're supposed to do all these things. You're supposed to be the representation of that, right? But no, he likes the attention that he's getting. He likes the fact that his congregation is taking him out to eat. He likes the fact that he's getting all that and he's respected and he's got it going good. But he's not really doing the work to be the actual representation of it. He's not living up to it because he's just indulging. He's just all about the attention he's getting. What's going to happen? It turns against him. He gained a lot of fortune from a lot of people seeing him as a spiritual representation. He's the pastor of the community, and they all invested in him. But he's not really he's just taking advantage of it, and he's showing himself up as he's the spiritual authority. He's the big guy, and he's like looking down on people, criticizing them, and he's just taking it all. And he's not really helping anyone reach spiritual heights. That's what comes next. He's got to pay the price for that. Okay, so that's kind of how it works. It happens all the time. I see people all the time. They'll say, gee, I wish I could lose weight, right? And then the opportunity is there. They get a gym membership and something says, okay, I hear you. And then they could be at the gym, but instead they went to the gym and they talked to everyone about their problems and they didn't work out and they didn't start to lose weight. Or they say, hey, I've got health problems. And then it shows up. The thing that could actually cure them shows up and they're like, oh no, I don't want to take that. That's too expensive. I'd rather use that money for this. And then they tell themselves, or they convince themselves, or they say, no, I can't afford that. So then they go with whatever. Well, my insurance pays for this. This is the cure, but my insurance will pay for this. Well, guess what? They're going to get sicker because something listened and actually brought the thing to them. And instead of having the faith and following through and saying, you know what, I'll figure it out. This is the way to the cure. I'm going to do this. This is weird. This is different. I know this is going to work. I'm going to take this. No, it's my insurance covers this, so I'm going to take this one. They're going to butcher me, but I'm going to take it. Well, guess what? You still got to pay on top of that because something guided you to the way that would heal you and you didn't take it. So then there's another one. Think of another one too. It's like they wish for a child and then they don't care for their kids, or they don't listen to their kids, or whatever. They said, I promise I'll be a good parent, and then they don't listen to their kids. Or someone says, you know, I want a new job, and then the job opportunity shows up, but they're afraid to take the risk, and so they stick at the job they hate. This happens constantly. All day long, people are wishing for stuff, and then it shows up, and they don't realize that they've made a contract. And what I'm seeing all the time with people is they'll be like, well, so things are going wrong, and I don't know why. I'm like, yeah, because you wished for some guy to show up. And the guy did show up, and they're like, oh my God, like that guy? And you're like, you wished for it. Well, that's not what I wanted. Well, guys, then that's why in the Tibetan stuff we say, watch your mind and don't talk so much because you lose your awareness. So, which is really hard when I do these videos. It's like, because people ask me to talk and they ask me to share this stuff out there, and quite frankly, I would rather just keep quiet. But people are like, well, can you explain this stuff? All right, so I'm explaining this stuff to people because they're asking me. Now the question is, you wished for it. What are you going to do with the information? Are you going to take the information? Or are you going to start applying it to your life? Are you going to recognize? Or are you just going to dismiss it because it's uncomfortable, or you don't want to use it? Or, well, that's too hard. I'm Lucky Lynx. As always, wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do. I hope this makes some sense. And I hope this clarified with spirit contracts. Do you like to get a reading from me and discuss some of the contracts that maybe you made, or maybe if you're finding challenges in your life and you don't know why, maybe you made a contract that you didn't follow through with or you don't know about. I'm not talking about curses. I'm just saying maybe you made a contract that you didn't follow through. 779-302-8009 or conjurehope@gmail.com. Hey, you want to learn tarot? I got a basic tarot class starting in July. I'm taking a storyteller's approach, how to use these as this, to organize the story of your life, and how to do, some basic predictions for yourself, and start to use these in a way that gives you a deeper connection with the cards right away. starting in July, and then I got an intermediate to advanced class as well if you'd like to take that one. I've also got one in playing cards. I've also got one in Lenormand. I got a basic Lenormand, and I got an Grand Tableau. I got one in Mexican Loteria, and I got a Crystal Ball Scrying class. If you'd like to take any of these classes, go ahead, contact me, 779-302-8009, or email me at conjurehope@gmail.com. So if you like these videos and you're getting a lot out of them, and you're getting something out of them, and you want to donate to help keep these videos coming, well then I'm going to put my PayPal and my Venmo in the space below. Thank you to everyone who has already generously donated.